This is a PowerPoint on theory crafting. Oh wow, that loaded weird. So I played a lot of different decks in theory crafting. I played a lot of my own, I played some other people's decks, and some of them felt really good. Things like Pirate Demon Hunter felt incredible, and then other decks, like a Sith Mage, didn't really add up. That's just what you expect, right? You're not going to have perfect success on decks you're making, but something very good. I like to go through some of those. Starting with what I enjoyed, I actually really did like cards like Horizon's Edge, Sigil of Skydiving, Skirting Death, Party Fiend, Tidal Pupil. A lot of these cards felt really good. Uh, you know, slower Death Knight decks felt incredibly powerful. Being able to proc Horizon's Edge multiple times over felt truly very good. I know that it's probably not that great as I expected it to be in standard. It didn't feel amazing. A lot of people weren't playing Death Knight. Maybe early on in the day they were, but I played in the second time slot, so it didn't seem like a lot of people were playing it. It felt okay, but Horizon's Edge itself felt very strong. I think Death Knight just might not have gotten enough support for a card like Horizon's Edge to really take off, but maybe that's just me. Then Sigil Skydiving felt like a clear MVP card in Pirate Demon Hunter. It felt so clear that this was one of the best cards in the entire deck. I would try to mulligan for it every single game. It synergizes incredibly well with Treasure Distributor. It synergizes well with Coconut Cannoneer. It synergizes well with Hose and Roughhouser. It synergizes well with Adrenaline Fiend. It's just really, really powerful. It's probably one of the best cards in the entire deck. It's just so much. It's also extra good because of the fact that it plays around removal very well. So if you're playing this on turn 2, right, then your opponent wanted to kill your Treasure Distributor on turn 1, but either they play their removal card and kill Treasure Distributor, or they wait a turn and then kill all your minions. So they're effectively set in this rock and a hard place situation where if they have some form of like AoE removal on turn 2, they're not going to play it just for your distributor, which means they're going to take a lot of damage face for trying to, play it most efficiently. But if the AoE can't even clear it because of Hose and Roughhouser, then you have this really positive loop for the Demon Hunter player that makes it so like, oh wow, I just dealt a million damage to my opponent on turn 3, and I have a giant board that they can't really deal with, more than most other aggro decks can actually achieve. It's kind of felt really good. On the flip side, Skirting Death felt incredible in Shaman, not Demon Hunter. I didn't like it in Demon Hunter, I didn't play it, I didn't see anyone using it, but in Shaman, where you have Wind Fury, Skirting Death felt incredible. Elemental Shaman was genuinely a very strong deck. It's probably going to be very good going into the next expansion. Skirting Death Conductivity combo is just really strong. So much so that I truly think it might get nerfed, at some point. People are not going to be happy if they're taking, 16 damage on turns 5 from Skirting Death, Conductivity, and Wind Fury from the Elemental. That's not going to make people very happy. So I really do think that, Blizzard needs to watch out for that. Then we go to Pain Warlock. This was the Zoo deck. Pain Warlock was completely Zoo. I think that if you didn't have to run 10 new cards, it would be a little better. But because of the 10 new card restriction, it felt not amazing. It felt great as a Zoo deck, but it didn't feel too strong. That being said, if you don't have to run 10 new cards, probably 4 or 5 of those aren't even that good for the deck. It felt just pretty good. That's probably an understatement, though, actually. It's probably you had 6 cards they were really happy with. You were happy with Souvenir, you're happy with Party Fiend, you were happy with Flame Juggler, and then I think you were pretty happy with EPM, if I had to guess. So I'd say that's pretty close to the 10. The list that I was running, I think ran Vona because someone else put it in there, and it didn't feel that great. And then lastly, you have Tidal Pupil. I already said that I think this is going to be the best card of the entire set, and it's really strong. It's absurd with Concierge. I think Concierge needs to be nerfed, but we'll get to that. It's absurd with Concierge. It's just really good on its own, and it's a lot. It gives you access to your best cards more often. It's useful for combos that want to be getting a lot of cards like Concierge. It's just a really good card. I truly think so. Then we'll get to some cards that didn't live up to anyone's expectations. Buttons, it was obvious this card was going to be not that great, but something about this much card draw for Death Knight made me think maybe it could have some kind of place. Maybe, Spell School Death Knight could be something, and it just wasn't. Buttons is not very good. I didn't see anyone else playing it. I Haven't seen anyone else talk about it. The deck just looks completely underwhelming, and Death Knight kind of got screwed with this whole Spell School package. Shaman did as well, but at least Shaman got Skirting Death, so it doesn't really care. Skirting Death is better than all of the other Shaman cards combined this expansion, except I guess maybe Cabaret Headliner, but still. Like, that was more of a buff to Shaman than almost every single other card that it got. Skirting Death is absurd. Then you have King Tide, which Big Spell Mage didn't really work. I didn't see it a single time. I only ever saw any of the cards in Druid, and I didn't even see King Tide in that deck. I saw Surfalopod. Surfalopod felt really good for like a Big Spell Mage, but King Tide, I didn't see it a single time. I don't know if that's like a me thing, if I was just unlucky, if, you know, I was underestimating it and didn't play it myself, which I actually did. I tried a deck with it, just didn't really work. And then you have Catch of the Day. You know, the whole one-drop package in Hunter, I knew it wasn't going to be good, and it wasn't good. No, I did not see a single person test it out. Sidisi was even at the same time slot as me. I didn't run into him, but I played so many games, I didn't see anyone else play it, so I'm not really feeling it. Amalgam Hunter did feel quite fun and quite decent to play, so that's why I didn't put Fishing Rod on here, but Catch of the Day is just, it's such a bad card. I really don't know what people are thinking it would be at all playable. It's just so worthless. And then you have Rycleaver. So a big warrior did come out. A big warrior did come out of Theorycrafting, and it wasn't running Rycleaver. So that alone should tell you this card's not very good. The big warrior that did come out is all about, you know, Chemical Spill into Unkiliax, and then you copy it with, what's it called? Hydration Station, things like that. It's just, Rycleaver doesn't matter. It's way too slow. The sandwiches are just completely useless. It's just kind of awkward, I'm gonna be honest, to play the deck. And when I tried it, it wasn't very good. Playing a full, you know, ramp style, you know, with Hone and using ramp, trying to play towards like Rycleaver, it felt really bad. I got the 69 420, the 420 69, haha. I got it a couple times, but wasn't good. I didn't win any games, just wasn't very good. Then we have problem cards. I was gonna go to that, but whatever. I think these are some big problem cards. Concierge is way too strong. I already knew it was gonna be really strong, don't get me wrong, but it's even better than I expected. Spell Damage Druid is just absurd. Everyone's talking about Concierge for a reason. It feels way too good. Then you have to talk about Trail Mix and Hydration Station. I don't think Trail Mix on its own is that strong in Druid. However, in Warrior, when you can play Chemical Spill on turn 5, it's really strong. It's real good to be able to play Chemical Spill on turn 3. Sorry, not turn 5. Turn 3 to get your Unkiliax on turn 3. That's not good. That's not good. That shouldn't be happening. It's way too much of a high roll. It's literally, you can't, I don't think you can win from that situation with almost any deck. It should not exist. It's really bad for the game. Then you have Hydration Station, which, remember what I just said about Unkiliax? Yeah, it's really good in Warrior. It's really good in Druid. Who could have guessed? Being able to resummon arguably the best card in the entire game? Wow, whoever could have guessed it would be too strong. It's something. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I really don't know what they're thinking with this, and Unkiliax being so overpowered. It feels like they were just not paying attention. So I'm not really sure what that's about. And what do I think about Wild? I put some things here together. Treasure Distributor, Sigil, Skydiving, Hosen Roughhouser, I think is good enough to run in Wild. I truly think it is. You're able to fight for boards so efficiently with Sigil of Skydiving, Hosen Roughhouser. It's kind of just really good. And then, of course, you know, Concierge. Like I already said, playing Concierge and Druid, you can play it in Mage. Mage had a really good deck, and I think it might even be good enough for Wild. Genuinely, I think it might be. That Flood Mage, it's really good. I think Concierge is, just, again, going to be way too strong in Wild, even. Just the amount of mana cheat that you can use with this to deal a lot of damage in Druid is just absolutely disgusting. Go with the flow, Sea Breeze Chalice, Tidepool Pupil, and then you can just win the game on the spot on like 5 mana. If your opponent doesn't have any minions, it's just absolutely disgusting. I don't know what else to say. It's really gross. Then you have Birdwatching. I think this card instantly slots into every single Hunter deck without question. I don't think there's a Hunter deck that shouldn't run Birdwatching. Even Hunter, I will be running an Even Hunter. This card's just so nuts. It gives you stats. It gives you board buffs. It lets you draw a card. It's just everything Hunter has ever wanted. in one card. It's really, really, really strong. It felt really good to use throughout Theorycrafting. Hitting things like Hollow Hound felt game-winning. Even hitting my Amalgam, which, wasn't the best option a lot of times because it only had one, still felt good to give it, +2/+1, so it was a 3/3 every single time. That genuinely did still feel very good. And then, of course, Horizon's Edge. Horizon's Edge is going to be good and wild. I don't care what anyone says. People can say that I'm coping. I don't care. This card will make Even Death Knight at least tier 3. At least. And that's all you can ever hope for. Horizon's Edge, it's so much. It does so much damage. It has a really slow animation, actually, which is very funny. But it helps you fight for board incredibly well because it hits minions. It just does a lot of damage. It's 4 mana for 15 damage. Even Death Knight is already really good into aggro, so Horizon's Edge is just free damage against aggro because you'll be able to trade super efficiently. I don't see a world where this card isn't good in Even Death Knight. I don't see a world where Even Death Knight isn't at least a tier 3 deck. So, yeah. But that's going to be it from me. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Those are my takeaways from Theorycrafting, what I think needs to be done, what I took away from it for both formats. And, yeah. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I have a new schedule that's going to be happening. I'm cutting down on daily uploads. It's not that I even burnt myself out. I just ran out of things to talk about. I know that sounds really weird. The guy that talks a lot can't think of anything to talk about, but it happens. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting down my video load to only 3 or 4 a week instead of 7. I'll still be uploading both days on the weekends and streaming, but I'll only be doing 1, maybe 2 videos during the week. And what I'm going to be doing for at least the foreseeable future is remaking some of my old PowerPoints. I'm not happy with how a lot of them came out. I wanted to talk about a lot of different things, a lot of things people mentioned in the comments that I missed. So I want to go through and redo them in better long-form content, rather than just a PowerPoint where I'm talking and I'm not even really editing the videos, because I like doing editing. I like doing thumbnails, and I don't really get to do them with these. So I want to make them better. But that's going to be it for me. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Shadows are rising again!
Darker than they've ever been.